While certain phrases alter your frequency, others alter the course of your existence. Thoth penned his in-stone not for the purpose of being read, but rather to be witnessed, mainly due to the fact that individuals who comprehend these 13 teachings not only think differently, but they also vibrate differently and the universe reacts accordingly. When you look around, everything appears to be solid, fixed, and undeniable. Nonetheless, everything vibrates. You are the chair you are sitting on right now, the time that is surrounding you, the reality that you name life, your body, your thoughts, your feelings, your voice, and the chair you are sitting on. Frequency is the foundation of everything, and when yours is out of alignment, nothing functions. During this time, the mind becomes restless, the body becomes ill, and dreams become trapped. You are making an effort to alter the external world, but you continue to generate the same frequency. This was referred to by Thoth as the invisible prison, and he also left the keys to let people out of it. It was revealed by him in the Emerald Tablets that vibration is not only what creates reality, it is also what determines who commands it. Those who are unable to master their own frequency will be governed by the frequencies of others, period. This movie is not intended to be entertaining. Rather, it is intended to align. Instead of being theoretical, the 13 lessons that you are about to hear are examples of energy engineering, and if you put them into practice, your field will shift. Not only does reality have no choice but to pay attention when your field undergoes a change, but it also follows. This sage advice was not prepared for anyone in particular. Rather, it was intended for those individuals who have the perception that something is wrong with the world and that the change starts from inside. In the event that this describes you, you should listen with your heart since your frequency is about to increase. To climb, however, requires consciousness, and the most important thing that the world is lacking right now is vibrational awareness. There are frequencies all around us that are draining, distracting, and distorting for us. News that instills fear in us. A social media platform that encourages comparison. Words that are empty, repeated and thrown to the wind like poison that is not apparent. You find yourself vibrating on autopilot without you realizing it. And when you are in that state, dreams become anxiety, purpose becomes a burden, and life becomes a struggle for existence. It's not a coincidence. This is because of engineering. Due to the fact that a mind that is detached from the body and a body that is disconnected from consciousness is easier to manipulate. The majority of people have been conditioned to ignore their own individual frequency. The Emerald Tablets, on the other hand, were reserved for those individuals who wished to awaken. Thoth did not communicate with the group as a whole. Rather, he communicated with the awakened individual. The person who starts to realize that there are levels to reality that matter, has a reaction, and that the mind is not responsible for everything. This is the calling to grasp reality as a field of energy that is organized by the frequency that you emit. The one who feels that there is something more, and that this something vibrates, is the one who is being called to understand reality. It is not what you want that you attract. Rather, it is what you are that you attract, and the vibrations that you emit are what you are. In spite of the fact that these 13 lessons have been concealed for thousands of years, they have never been lost because people who are prepared to find them simply recognize them. You'll come to understand that it's not simply knowledge, it's remembrance to you. The reason for this is that you are already aware of what Thoth wrote. You simply forgot about it, and it was only for those who forgot that he spoke. It is not written in ink or on paper. Rather, it is carved into eternal stone, guarded by metaphors, symbols, and vibrations that are concealed. Rather than leaving behind a book, Thoth left behind a code, a road plan for those who are prepared to think back on it. It is abundantly evident that the principle that underlies all other principles is outlined in the Emerald Tablets. Every single thing is in motion. There is no stillness. Everything is in motion. Everything is pulsating, and everything is reacting. Not only is this a law, but it is also a philosophical concept. A structure that is not visible yet, nevertheless maintains the visible. Therefore, those who are able to master their own vibration do not have to exert control over the world, since the world is able to conform to the frequency that is emanating from within. In the same way that I am to you, God, through my knowledge, you will go on to become gods of the future because of the information that you possess. This is exactly what Thoth wrote, and it is precisely what we are recovering at this very moment. There are not 13 lessons that you are about to hear that are completely at random. These shards are pieces of a whole energetic system that have been passed down from one civilization to another in silence by individuals who have chosen to remember. It is not by chance or by luck that you have gained access to this information. Rather, it is because you have tuned into it and because your vibration has carried you to this place. It is now time to pay attention, jot it down, commit it to memory, tune in, and make each of the subsequent teachings more tangible. The first lesson: there is vibration in everything. In the event that everything vibrates, then nothing will not respond. The very first lesson is coming up now. Matter is nothing more than compressed energy that vibrates at a particular frequency. This is the reality that you call matter. Your body, your thoughts, and your voice are all made up of vibrational patterns that are arranged at different levels of density. The chair you sit on, the wall in front of you, and your body are all examples of this. And everything you consider to be solid is actually just vibration that has been slowed down. When Thoth disclosed that vibration is the fundamental building block of everything, he was in the process of passing on the master key, mainly due to the fact that persons who comprehend this cease their efforts to exert control over matter and begin to operate at the level of energy. When you change your frequency, your life will change. It is not the things that change that cause your life to change. Additionally, if you want to change the things that you feel, you need to begin in the vibrational state, which is the birthplace of everything. The second lesson: reality can be tuned by consciousness. It is not the universe that determines your experience. Rather, it is your consciousness that perceives and resonates with the frequency of what you consider to be reality. Your energetic field is continually being adjusted by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, and this field is emitting a signal as a result of these adjustments. There is a resonance between that signal and the field of the universe. It is precisely this vibration that brings about the occurrence of situations, individuals, patterns, and outcomes. The things that you want are not what you attract. Rather, you attract what you are. On the other hand, what you vibrate is what you are. According to Thoth's teachings, the outward world is nothing more than a vibrational reflection of the world that exists within. Because of this, elevating your consciousness is not a concept that pertains to spirituality. There has been a shift in the message that you are sending out to the universe. If you alter your state of consciousness and your frequency, then everything else in your environment will have to adjust as well. The third lesson: moods have an effect on matter. That frequency that you experience is the one that has the greatest influence on your reality. Not only are your feelings manifestations of your emotional reactions, but they are also waves of energy that dismantle potential outcomes. When you feel fear, guilt, or rage, your frequency decreases and your field becomes distorted. It can be raised via love, gratitude, and clarity. The electromagnetic field of the heart is already shown to be greater than that of the brain, according to scientific research. As Thoth once put it, the heart is the one that knows while the mind is simply capable of analysis. Whenever you experience anything to a high degree, your vibration gets more powerful, more distinct, and more magnetic. The reason why thinking positively without feeling is ineffective is because of this. Your emotional state is the energy signature of your field, and the universe reacts to it with a certain degree of accuracy. If you want to make a difference in the world, you need begin by feeling before you see what it is that you want to live. The fourth lesson: this inner harmony is the result of inner equilibrium. At no point in time does anything in the cosmos vibrate in disorder. Harmony is the goal of everything. There is a return to harmony in everything. In addition, if your reality is disorganized, it is not because the world around you has gone insane at this point. The reason for this is that something within you has lost its center. A physical disorder can be traced back to an emotional imbalance, according to what Thoth wrote. Our bodies become ill, our relationships end, and our choices end, up being counterproductive. Every single one of these things is the result of an internal vibration that deviated from the point of equilibrium. One of the most intriguing aspects is that maintaining equilibrium does not need any effort. This occurs when there is no more available. You are able to return to the center of things when you cease opposing, manipulating, and forcing others. The reorganization of your reality occurs when your frequency becomes stable, mostly due to the fact that the universe only reflects anything that you consistently vibrate. The fifth lesson, the conduits of vital power, as well as the vibration that you give out, do not originate solely from the mind or the heart alone. It travels through pathways of vital energy that are not immediately obvious throughout your entire body. These are what Thoth referred to as the currents of life. Today they are referred to as Ida Pingala and Sushumna in a number of different traditions. They are the unseen conduits that maintain the motion of your frequency, much like rivers that flow within your field. This causes your energy to become stagnant when these channels are obstructed. Clarity, presence, and alignment are the feelings that you experience when they flow freely. Even if you have a positive mental attitude, you may still be vibrating in a state of scarcity, merely due to the fact that your channels are experiencing an excessive amount of tension, fear, or energetic neglect. Silence inside oneself, conscious breathing, and movement with intention. In order to unblock these routes, these are the methods. Your frequency will increase as a result of the circulation of energy, and everything will start to respond once more. The sixth lesson. Assuming that everything is vibration, sound can be thought of as the architecture of creation. Accordingly, sound is one of the most potent tools that you have at your disposal. You are commanded to sing the song of freedom as Thoth penned. It is not meant to be a metaphor, but rather a direct instruction. Shape is conveyed by sound. The intangible is given structure by it. Studies in contemporary semantics demonstrate how sound frequencies can produce geometric patterns in water, sand, and other substances. In the same manner that vibration was responsible for the creation of the cosmos, you continue to shape your life in the same way. Each and every day, the sound that you generate causes waves to be created by your words. It is your voice that changes the field. Furthermore, even when you are silent, your objective has a tone. When vibration is in motion, it is sound. Additionally, when it is utilized with awareness, it realigns, heals, and organizes. Truthful speech and presentful breathing are essential. In addition, sing even if you are alone. It is the universe that is listening. The seventh lesson. The universe is listening to the vibratory code of creation, which is represented by the flower of life, due to the fact that it was intended to function in this manner. Also, there is a name for that design, the very essence of life. It was revealed by Thoth that this pattern is the foundation upon which all existence is built. An intrinsic frequency is reflected in each and every line, curve, and geometric repeat you experience. There is no spiritual significance to it. A mathematical code is what it is. A language of vibration that is capable of connecting everything. You are a part of galaxies, atoms, and cells. All forms, sounds, and proportions are contained within the flower of life, which is the foundation of all of these things. This is the mirror that reflects the growing consciousness. As a result, you have a certain emotion whenever you see it. Stone was etched into it by a great number of cultures for this reason, mainly due to the fact that this design not only symbolizes creation, but also vibrates similarly to creation. When you meditate with it, breathe with it, and feel with it, you are aligning your frequency with the frequency of the cosmos itself. The eighth lesson. The fire within that is capable of transforming density. However, not every vibration is a mild one, and calm is not the starting point for every shift. You have a fire that burns within you, the power that is alive, silent, and scorching. Both rage and impulse are not to blame. The power of transformation is there here. Thoth referred to this fire as the energy that burns everything. Fear, doubt, and attachment are all consumed by it. However, it only burns things that are no longer useful. If this fire is not put out, it will eventually become destructive within itself. Ascension is achieved when it is carefully cultivated via deliberate effort. This flame cannot be extinguished. Because of your birth, it has been burning. However, in order for it to respond, you must first cease your resistance and start to surrender. Anything that is dense can be burnt away. Pain can be transformed into brightness. Simply allowing the fire to do what it came to do is all that is required of you. Wash away. Number 9. There is a way to ascension that is polarity. The movement of every vibration is between two opposites, as well as the heat. in both light and gloom, both masculine and feminine characteristics. However, Thoth imparted knowledge. Contrary things are not adversaries. You can think of them as two opposites of the same energy. Defeating your shadow is not the reason you are here. In order to incorporate it, you are here. When you put up more of a fight against a polarity, it will control your vibration more and more. On the other hand, a miraculous occurrence takes place when you acknowledge, accept, and comprehend it. Just right. This is not the same thing as neutrality. Harmony is the essence of power. In order to achieve vibrational ascension, one must not run away from hurt, anger, or uncertainty. Once you have recognized these aspects and filled them with light, it will come into existence. To stop swinging between extremes is the first step toward integrating polarity. Transforming contrast into consciousness is the purpose of this. The purpose is to vibrate in completeness. Lesson 10. If you feel as though you are stuck in the past, you can think of time as a vibrating field, because you continue to vibrate in the same way that you did before. Nevertheless, time is not a line. There is a field here. Furthermore, the frequency at which you vibrate is what determines the point at which your consciousness is anchored. It was revealed by Thoth that time is a power that divides events, but does not restrict them in any respect. He asserted that time does not speed up. Consciousness is the thing that moves. The field of modern physics is starting to corroborate this. The past, the present, and the future are all layers of vibration that coexist. Your narrative can be altered, but not by traveling through time. Rather, it can be altered by altering the frequency that brings that pattern to life. By shifting your frequency, you open the door to a variety of different realities that could be attainable. There are multiple incarnations of you. Other ways to go. Relating to frequency, time bends. The 11th lesson. There is a living vibrational being that is Earth. This is not the world that you walk on. You are able to walk with it. The revelation made by Thoth was that the planet is a living thing that possesses its own consciousness and is vibrating actively. The magnetic pulse of the Earth causes your heart to vibrate in resonance with each beat of your heart. The memory of the clay from which each cell in your body originated is carried by each and every cell. In addition, whenever you make a decision to disconnect from the natural world, your frequency is lost in the din of the artificial world. Your energy, on the other hand, will realign with the natural cycle of existence if you take the time to slow down, walk freely, without shoes, and breathe with the forest. This planet is not a background. The object in question is a mirror. It magnifies whatever it is that you give off. Getting back in touch with that connection is crucial, mostly due to the fact that fleeing Earth does not lead someone to raise their frequency. However, only by acquiring the ability to vibrate with her. Lesson number 12. There is no ill will. Not every concept is able to materialize because of the frequency of manifestation. There are certain desires that do not produce vibration that is maintained by pure purpose. Is the only thing that have the true power to shape reality. The universe is said to respond to the degree to which your thoughts, feelings, and vibrations are in harmony with one another, according to the teachings of Thoth. What you want is not what you intend to do. When you want something, you are who you are. When one's desire is motivated by fear, attachment, or haste, it causes the field to become fragmented. However, it is magnetic when it originates from a heart that is in alignment. There is no need to ask in an aggressive manner. In order to be authentic, you must vibrate. The truth, on the other hand, has a frequency that is obvious despite its silence. That is the faith that the universe has in you. When you impose something, manifestation does not take place. It occurs when you are in alignment. Lesson 13, there is no sound. Everything that vibrates originates from silence, which is the most powerful conduit of vibration. Void is the starting point for all creation. The sound that you have not yet heard is the one that is the most powerful. However, I already feel Thoth was aware that quiet is synonymous with absence. The word origin, before gaining shape, it is the place where frequencies assemble themselves. The ancient masters sought quiet for this very reason, not in order to flee the world, but rather to mold it from the inside out. You are able to hear the field when there is silence. You are able to feel the vibration in the absence of sound before it becomes a reality. There are mental barriers caused by the chattering mind. Silence is a revelation. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and focus your attention on anything that is silent. A purification of your frequency takes place there, in the gap that exists between your ideas, and the process of creation starts all over again. And as soon as creation starts all over again, everything in your immediate environment starts to react differently. Not in a supernatural way, but inexorably. You will begin to observe that certain individuals are moving away without any altercation. The doors that open up in places where there were just walls before. That thoughts form when there is no sound. There is a sense of seamless flow of solutions, and time seems to slow down. But there was no change in the environment. It was you who underwent a shift on the inside. The vibration that you maintain transforms into a new energetic password, and the only things that can enter are those that resonate with it. It is for this reason that tranquility can at times feel solitary at first, mainly due to the fact that the new frequency is further purifying the field. Readjusting the connections is what it is. Simply said, it involves reconstructing your world from the inside out. Errors in alignment were the cause of what appeared to be a barrier. That which appeared to be unlucky was actually only a low frequency. In addition, things that you believed were impossible begin to take place. You are able to remember, feel, and sense things. You are not the cause of life's events. It reacts to what you say. Whenever you go within yourself, everything moves forward. When you increase your frequency, everything will realign itself. If something like that occurs, you will never return to the person you were before. The reason for this is that you have personal experience that it is true. When you have that feeling, no illusion will ever be able to convince you otherwise. Feeling, however, is not sufficient due to the fact that the field does not react to what you touch for a brief period of time. What you maintain with consistency is what it responds to over time. This is where the majority of individuals fall short. Over the course of a few days, they experience a high frequency, but then they revert back to the same routines, the same triggers, and the same old feelings. And when the outcome does not change, they claim that nothing was successful. It's not that it didn't work, but of course, the problem is that they did not maintain the vibration for a sufficient amount of time for the field to react. Thoth made it unmistakable: the law is vibration, but the ego is looking for speed. The field requires a stable environment. The circle of frustration will continue to ensnare those individuals who expect immediate results without undergoing any kind of personal transformation. Since manifestation is not force, but rather frequency, it is not force. Moreover, presence is necessary for frequency. While it is not necessary for you to be perfect, it is necessary for you to be true, genuine in your feelings, consistent in your thoughts, and conscious of the vibrations that you emit. The vast majority of people are hesitant because they wait for signs before aligning themselves. But the symptoms don't show up until after the alignment process has already started. You need to have access to frequencies that very few people can maintain. And this is your advantage if you desire results that no one else has yet achieved. Simply because you are already doing something that nearly no one else does if you have made it this far. Even while the rest of the world is sleeping, you should keep your awareness alert. Due to the fact that those who continue to stay awake start to remember. They come to the realization that they were never the body, never the name, never the tail, and never the suffering that they bore through the process of remembering. However, you have always been the field, despite the fact that all of that was a part of the costume. The frequency that lies behind the kind vibration that is responsible for organizing reality. Even while the body is a vehicle and a sacred instrument, it is not you, according to what Thoth wrote. In order to experience time and place, it is the instrument that your consciousness employs. In addition, everything will be different once that memory is brought back. You stop associating with things like scarcity, anxiety in the past, and you begin to vibrate as the person that you actually desire to be, a source of creative work. You are the source of reality. It is not something that happens to you. All of the words you utter, all of the feelings you cultivate, and all of the intentions you keep alive. Right now, you are creating the next scene of your life. This is the entirety of it. You are the vibrational architect shaping the road that you are on. And once you have that realization, guilt will give way to responsibility and fear. will give way to strength if you want to transform the world does not have to kneel down to you. Your vibration is the one that holds the field in its grasp. This has always been the case. It is not enough for you to simply stay alive. You have been brought into this world to vibrate at such a level that is so genuine, conscious, and pure that the entire universe reorganizes itself around you. It is not enough to just invite one to contemplate the 13 lessons that Thoth has to offer. They are a spiritual technology that can be employed in the quiet places of ordinary life to bring about transformations that are practical. They impact every aspect of life, the utterances that you make to yourself, your level of tolerance, the things that you bring to you, that which you give off despite the fact that no one is looking. Your frequency is not dependent on the things that the world provides for you. The answer is contingent on what you choose to maintain. At times when it appears that everything is falling apart, due to the fact that it is simple to vibrate at a high level when everything is going well. When everything begins to tremble, however, your genuine frequency will become available to you. Everything does not need to be within your control. You need simply to align yourself. When you are in harmony with who you genuinely are, reality has no choice but to accept you. As what is above, so is below, it obeys. It is the same outside as it is inside. Similar to how the universe is, the soul is also. That in its most fundamental form is the instruction that Hermes Trismegistus imparted. It is important to keep in mind that the cosmos does not hear what you say. You are the vibration that it feels. In the event that this video sparked an interest in you, you should return that frequency, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications so that you may continue to receive information similar to this. I am vibrating with awareness. So please comment below. Your intention in the field is already strengthened when you consider that alone. Furthermore, you should share it with someone who is prepared to break free of the illusion. Please proceed with your adventure by clicking on the video that is now displayed on your screen. It was selected specifically to take you to a deeper level. Make sure you don't forget that your frequency is the seed of your destiny. What you give off in the now will shape the world that you will live in the future.